Live with CDP Sports Talk, a weekly sports and entertainment podcast sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet. Live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. And on audio via Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Radio Public, and TuneIn. Now, here's your host, Chris Palme.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Season 10, Episode 46, overall 541 of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. Check out their website, barrycullen.com, for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, along with their great selection of all-electric vehicles and Cadillac vehicles as well. You can call the dealership at 519-824-0210 and tell them Chris Palme sent you, or you can email them at info@barrycullen.com. Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership has been family run and operated in the city of Guelph since 1969, and I have been a customer of Barry Cullen Chevrolet for the last 25 years and counting. I hope everybody is doing well on this Sunday, May 25th, 2025. I can't believe it's almost the end of May going into June. And before we bring on our guest today, I want to say congratulations to the three-time National Lacrosse League World Champion Buffalo Bandits, who became the first team to three-peat since Rochester did it in 12, 13, and 14. The Bandits, a tremendous win last night in Game 3 over Saskatchewan, 15-6. And I want to say thank you to the Buffalo Bandits organization for giving me media opportunities this year, and congratulations to the Bandits on back-to-back-to-back championships, which is very special in pro sports. I'm looking forward to my guest today. This is her first appearance, and I actually met her through a friend of mine who's been on this show before, Paula Jane Newman, who's a comedian out of LA. And today's guest, her name is Kelly Zemnickis. I hope I have that right. She is a Toronto-based comedian and podcaster, and even an acclaimed documentary filmmaker. And her podcast show is called Holler in Wine Podcast. And we're going to talk to her a little bit about her comedy career, podcast, and being a documentary filmmaker, as well as being a native from Toronto, Ontario.
Hey.
Good afternoon, Kelly. How are you?
I am doing great. And thank you so much for having me. And thank you to Paula for recommending me. It's very nice.
I got to ask you this. What's the story behind Paula Jane Newman and Mary Kennedy, who have been two of my guests and two of my friends that you know as well?
I do indeed. So I know both of them. One of, going through the COVID-19 pandemic was brutal and difficult and awful. But one of the joys of it was doing stuff online. And I got to meet Mary through doing online comedy, as I met Paula that way. So it's strange, had the world not gone upside down, we probably wouldn't be talking right now. So it's trying to turn lemons, lemonade from lemons and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm not grateful that we went through a pandemic, but I'm grateful I know those two. So for sure.
Ironically, I started my career into radio and media during the pandemic in March of 2020, and through StreamYard is how I got my new career. I started as a volunteer with a basketball team. I did camera work. And then when we got shut down during the pandemic, I started my show 5 years ago in March of 2020. And I met Mary Kennedy through another podcast when she was a guest, and I reached out to her. And Paula Jane Newman, I reached out to her as well. And it's just funny how when I first started this, it's like any career, you're gonna have to work your butt off to get people to notice you. And
yes.
541 episodes later, I'm still doing this, and I love it.
Congrats. Well, I will coffee cheers to you. That's what I have.
Okay. I have water.
Waterworks.
Yes.
Water is all good. Well, sports, it's funny. That's how I got my start in TV, like way back when I was a teenager. I volunteered at the local cable channel, and my first job was covering a curling match. I was a cable puller. So, yeah, I like sports. Yeah, I do.
My show originally was all sports, but I made
Yeah.
a decision that as much as I love sports and I still do sports shows, I wanted this talk show to become like a radio talk show. So I treat
Right.
every episode like it's on radio, and
Yeah.
I want people to know that I'm not just a sports guy. I can talk to
Mhm.
anyone. And being
Oh,
in security for 23 and a half years,
mhm.
working for a casino type environment, I had to deal
Cool.
with all kinds of people and learned how to think on my feet and talk and listen as well.
Yeah. Oh, most definitely. Yeah, I've never worked in a casino. I've been to casinos, but I've never I've
A
never
little bit of everything. You see a little bit of everything.
I can imagine.
So,
Yeah.
I was reading on your bio too that you started comedy at the young age of 17.
Well, I did. Like, I got involved in, I started off not performing. I mean, folks may know me now as a stand-up comic, but when I was a teenager, my first job was volunteering at a Toronto comedy club called Big City Improv. It doesn't exist anymore. It was at Queen and Bathurst. And I volunteered there, and my first job was cleaning toilets. So I cleaned toilets for free at a comedy club in the early 90s. So that's how I started. But it was the best thing ever because I spent my Friday and Saturday nights down there. And I eventually learned how to run the tech. And then I became a techie for many, many years. So folks would see me at clubs around Toronto running the lights and the sound and getting the props. And it took like a very long time for me to get the gumption to go up on stage myself. But yeah, the roots, my Toronto comedy roots were in the 90s, cleaning toilets. So humble beginnings, Chris. But it's a great way to learn
Yep,
about
yep,
people cleaning
absolutely.
bathrooms.
No, absolutely. And you know what? I wanted to ask you this too,
Yeah.
but behind the scenes, like when I did some volunteer work with Rogers TV, the
Mhm.
on-air guys always get all the credit and the attention, but you need
Yes.
your producer, you need your director, you need your audio guys, you need your camera operators, which I did. People don't
Mhm.
realize how much work's behind the scene, and I'm sure it's the same thing with comedy too, with the
That's
lighting
true.
guys and everything, audio guys and whatever.
Oh, the person at the door taking your ticket, putting the
Yep.
stamp on your hand. There's I mean, sure, the person on stage gets the glory and the team behind them is supporting them to have their best show ever. But whether it's, a comedy club show or you're working in reality TV, all those different parts, the person getting the bottles of water, the mom driving something down to the venue that you forgot. There's all these little bits that add up to make a great show. And so everybody really, really does play a really important part in it. And that's why I think if anybody listening is like wanting to get involved in the industry, do all the bits because when you do all the parts, then you appreciate you've got a different attitude about things. I think you appreciate how hard everybody works behind the scenes so that you on camera can shine and just do your best. But yeah, I highly recommend doing as many bits of the thing that you can because it makes you a better producer or lead actor, whatever, when you know how the whole thing works.
As you can
Yeah.
see, I wear a hat here. I'm a hat
Nice.
guy, but I
Nice.
literally wear 8 or 9 hats with this podcast. I'm the host,
Yeah.
producer, content creator. I edit video, and
No.
you might not be the
Excellent.
best. I might not be the best at everything, but I would agree with you. Any career you go into, it's good to try to learn as much as you can because
Yeah.
it gives you different perspectives and views, and I think it makes you better
Yeah.
at what you're doing.
I think so. And also, I think even if you don't want to get into an entertainment industry job, I honestly think every single person should work in hospitality once in their life just to see how we talk to each other. That's my other PSA is learn all the parts and also work in hospitality because it's astounding how people will sort of make you feel small when they're ordering coffee from you. It's people are great and people are weird. So,
I saw that in the restaurant industry. I worked as a dishwasher. My first job was a dishwasher,
Oh yeah.
370 an hour. A whopping
Mm,
370 an hour. And then
yeah.
I became a cook, a line cook, and stuff like that. But I even saw it in security where people, when you asked them to leave for whatever reason,
Oh
I
yeah.
would always talk to them the way I'm talking to you. And
Hmm.
some people just feel the need to kind of belittle you and put you down. And I don't care if you're a CEO of
Yeah.
a company or you're a dishwasher. I treat everyone the same.
Yeah. As you should, because you don't know what everyone's backstory is, you know. But yeah, people can get very entitled. They can. I love what I get to do and I love the things that I've done. But yeah, it's kind of floored me how people have spoken to me over the years. Whether I'm the person taking the tickets or I'm the one telling the jokes, you know. So yeah. Anyway. Not to shame anyone, but there you go.
Hey Kelly, can you just tell my audience a little bit about yourself and when did you
Sure.
get when did you develop an interest in the entertainment industry, especially comedy?
Oh wow. The sort of, I don't know if the kids say the Coles notes anymore. They probably don't. But I was born in Montreal. Grew up in Toronto. I've lived in Toronto for over 40 years. So I'm pretty much from here now. And I'm shorter than I was at the start of the pandemic.
How did that happen?
Yeah, it's the beauty of aging, Chris. You just tend to shrink. So as I near 50, I'm getting shorter. So yeah, 5'3", but my license says I'm 5'6". It's a little joke that no one seems to have corrected. Um, and yeah, that's the kind of the quick sticks about me. And what else is there? Oh, fun fact: I'm named after Princess Grace Kelly of Monaco. So there you go. That's where the Kelly part comes from, everybody. And I was born on an Oscar night. Ta-da. Um, but in terms of entertainment, I think it was just kind of bred in my bones because I was born on an Oscar night. I share my birthday with so many celebrities. My dad, when my mom was going into labor, asked her to wait until the credits of the movie were over until he went to the hospital. So I think entertainment was kind of wound in my into my coming into the world. Um, but both of my parents have advertising backgrounds, so entertainment and media was just like another sibling for me. Like, you know, we were kids who, my brother and I were encouraged to eat dinner in front of the TV. We were encouraged to talk about commercials and products, and it was just sort of my life from a very, very early age, and I was really, obsessed with TV as a kid and, like, how it worked, and, anytime we would go on a tour of, like, the NBC building, I was always interested in what, like, the technicians were doing, so it honestly just seemed to be from a very young age, just my surroundings, just sort of like, I just sort of got pushed towards that medium. And then comedy, when I look back in my life, I mean, all the signs were there that I was interested in stand up. Like, I would stay up late to try and watch SNL or David Letterman. There was an American writer, her name, she's no longer with us, but her name was Irma Bombeck. And I would read a lot of Irma Bombeck when I was like in fifth grade. So I was like 10 years old reading these like house woman from the, middle America, talking about her family and these like humor pieces and the satire that I was just like pissing my pants over. I didn't really understand it, but all my sort of like all the signs pointed to a love of comedy from an early age. And yeah, I didn't really get into it though. I didn't take the mic for the first time till I was like 37. Um, so yeah, it's sort of just like the environment I grew up in. Didn't have parents who pushed me out of the industry and being like, "Oh, we're in advertising. You need to go become a doctor." They never did that to me. They were very encouraging of like, "You want to get into TV? Okay, get into TV." And I was, I don't know, like 14 teen. I was the youngest at what was McLean Hunter, which
I
became
remember.
Ronkers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was the youngest there, and I was the only girl on the crew. But I've just had a fascination with cameras, lights, the whole shebang for a very long time. Yeah. So
By the way, I'm 53.
nice.
I'll be
Nice.
53 June 29th. I'm technically
Nice.
52, but I'll be 53. My driver's license says I'm 5'8", but I'm really 5'6".
I love that. I remember when I got my license, and I only got my license because I wanted a Blockbuster video membership. This is true. No interest in driving. I hate driving in Toronto. It's so stressful.
It's
But I
crazy.
it's crazy. But I wanted a Blockbuster video membership because we used to rent movies back in the day, friends. And I when I got my license eventually, and they asked me how tall I was, I just thought 5'6" sounded good. And no one fact checked that. I think it's funny. It's probably very illegal, but I think it's funny.
I miss the days of Jumbo Video, Blockbuster Video, and
Right?
it's just and now everything. You don't even have to go to a movie theater anymore. Even the movie theaters are shrinking in size. Like there's not
It's
as many of
true.
them.
I still go. I will still make a point to go, and I don't know if they're still kicking. I hope they are. I don't have it near me. But Babe Video in Toronto, if folks are able to go down, that I think is the last remaining video store in Toronto. I was renting movies up until 2019 there.
Wow.
It's it's the best. Taking the video card and like looking at the movies. I miss that shit. I really do.
So do I. So do I.
I really do. Yeah.
Hey, being from Toronto, were
Mhm.
you I know I grew up in Oakville in the late 70s and early 80s.
Yeah.
Obviously Saturday Night Live was huge, but did you ever watch SCTV with the late John
Yes.
Candy and Joe Flaherty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
SCTV was that was like the best thing about growing up when I did was either if I was watching SNL in reruns or SCTV in reruns or Kids in the Hall even there was this amazing off the wall bizarro quirky style of comedy that I am so lucky that that's sort of where like my roots developed in because SCTV was if you know if folks don't know about it please go check it out online. John Candy was a gift to this planet as was so many people on that show. And I used to live on Roehampton up at Yonge and Eglinton. And in the opening of SCTV, they throw TV monitors
Yes.
off of an apartment. That building was on Roehampton. And when I found that out, I tipped my hat every time I walked home. But yeah, that show was just incredible. Just incredible. Yeah,
Legendary.
so good.
Legendary.
Yeah.
What makes Toronto and the country of Canada so great for comedians?
That's a good question. Um, I I think we've just got this I don't know if it's sort of like an offshoot of our, you know, Commonwealth heritage of like Monty Python and that kind of, you know, comedy shtick, but just this absurdist, out there yet honest. There's just a perspective up here of like going full tilt that I really love. Like Canadians love their comedy and we really appreciate character work and absurdity and yeah, it's just I don't know if it's something in the water up here that as much time as I've spent in America, and there are fantastic comedians in, you know, on the other side of this continent. But there's something up here about just a quickness of wit and a perspective of life that is just a little different and it's just really, really good. Um, And yeah, I don't know if it comes from like a British influence of of really good wordplay and just really sort of taking the piss out of something and just being incredibly goofy, not rude or ignorant, but just really seeing the humor in a situation. We do that really well here. We're really good storytellers in Canada. I think because this country is so big and we have so many different ways of looking at things, that there's a really good sense of wordplay and story here. That would be my answer.
Kelly,
I hope that makes sense.
I've asked this with other comedians that have come on
Yeah.
my show before,
Yeah.
from the U.S. and Canada and stuff like that. What's your perception of West Coast to East Coast humor?
Oh boy. I have spent more time on the East Coast working, not doing stand-up per se. Like if we look at like Canada, I've spent more time on the East Coast working on shows. I've told more jokes on the West Coast. I feel, and I could be wrong, I feel like East Coast of Canada, even the East Coast in the States, it's a little raunchier. I don't know if I'm right in that assumption. I think it's a bit raunchier. And yeah, a little bit going over the edge, a little bit more on the East Coast. And I think West Coast is a bit more based in maybe story. That would be my answer. Still both very good, but I think just a little bluer on the East Coast. Maybe it's all the screech. I don't know. I'm not sure. But yeah, I feel like West Coast is more story based.
Kelly, how
Yeah.
important is it? How important is it for a comedian to do their homework? Because I know every city, every club, or if you go to another country, it's a little bit different. So, how important is it for a comedian to do homework where they're performing?
Oh, I think it's necessary. It's absolutely vital. It's completely necessary. I mean, clubs don't ask you to, but I think if you're going to a place for the first time, um, if I'm traveling within Canada, I live in a city that most of Canada hates. Not a lot of Toronto fans out there. Um, but you want to go to a place and know your little quirky facts so that you can relate and you can show that you've paid attention to where you're going. You've spent the time learning an interesting fact. And for the most part, I think the audience will appreciate that and be on side with you. Where that exception lies would be the time I was doing a show in Indiana, and I was featuring for Kevin Farley, brother of the late Chris Farley, and it I can't think of the name of the town right now. It is just blanking from my brain, but it is also the hometown of Orville Redenbacher, the popcorn guy, right?
Yes.
So I looked up this town and I saw the thing about Orville, but then I also found out that it was the hometown of the woman who invented the dishwasher that we have that people have in their homes. And I decided to regale the audience with the fact that I knew about this dishwasher fact, and nobody cared. And it was like, okay. And then I quickly pivoted to talk about Orville, and they were on side, but they did not give a shit about the lady who invented the dishwasher stuff. So anyway, but I do think it's really important just to show the audience there that you're coming from the big city, so to speak, and you're paying attention to where you're going. And yeah, I think with the exception of that show, it usually works out.
Kelly, being from Toronto and Canada, what are some of the stereotypes you hear when you perform over in the States?
Number one is the way I say certain words. And I will say about, and someone will hear a boot, a like a footwear thing. I don't hear that at all. And it mystifies me how language works that way, that I can be saying something that just heard so differently. So I try to be very careful when I'm down there with my language and the words that I use, just so I don't, I try to blend in. I find like Toronto, especially because so many people are from different places. Very few people who live here were born in Toronto. I'm not from here, um, I just try to blend in with the locals, and I try to, say my words a certain way. But it's usually that, or if like I'm in New York, and if I'm ordering something, I'll tend to say something like, may I have a small coffee? And the person at the bodega will be like, I know you're not from here because you said, may I? Usually it's like small coffee, you just get to it. So it's these little tells that give me away with my politeness. But yeah, that about thing will forever boggle my mind. I don't hear it.
Now, you're originally from Montreal, so did you,
Yeah.
when you came to Toronto 40 years ago, did you kept your French language? And do you ever do bilingual shows?
I don't do bilingual shows, and I wish I did, because I would be far richer than I am now. Those folks make some good money, which is amazing, and just so indicative of how Quebec is very supportive of their artists, especially French language. It's great. But no, when I moved here, I spoke French at school, and then I spoke English at home. So I was like, I was fully bilingual. But I still had a lot of issues with the English language. I remember the school I went to, my English teacher's name was Mr. Christie. And I would watch how his lips moved when he said words, so I knew how to pronounce them properly. And he was really, really helpful in my gaining a grasp, because English is not the easiest language. The way that one word can mean 17 different things, and so it was really important for me to see how the words were shaped when he said it. One of my brothers lost his English completely and had to get like extra help, because it was so French and it wasn't spoken at home. So yeah, I when I go back to Montreal, and people are speaking to me in French, I know exactly what they're saying, but it takes me a little bit to know how to respond. So yeah, I wish I kept it up more. I really, really do. I wish I could perform comedy in French. Maybe one day, maybe 5 years from now, I'll be doing shows in French. But yeah, it's a great language. Yeah.
Kelly, for those people that are watching the show live stream or on audio, how would you describe yourself as a comedian? What kind of a style, and what would describe you best?
If you're looking for like insulting the audience and political comic stylings, that's not me. It's not me. I am very much slice of life, relationship, talking about women's health and family, trying to make my topics, as evergreen and as relatable as I can. So yeah, and I'm a gal in her late 40s who doesn't have kids and lives with her parents. So there's a great deal to mine from that, and the stories of aging and the humor of body changing. So yeah, I'd say it's just kind of just evergreen slice of life stuff for me. I am not the comic who's gonna heckle you till you cry. I'm not, I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, I don't deal well with confrontation, so that's that's not me. Yeah. Generally positive, generally clean. Yeah.
How long does it normally take for you as a comedian to gauge the audience's mood?
You can tell, like, once the show starts and the host is on the stage, um, even, as like the lights are going down, you can get a vibe of the room. I do feel like I'm somebody who's really good at reading energy off of people, getting a sense of how someone's gonna react to me before we even talk. I'm pretty good at getting a vibe off of people, but there is something with the way the host is, getting the room set up, and you can tell, like, okay, they're gravitating towards this kind of humor or that kind of humor. And sometimes when I've been in rooms and I've thought, okay, they're really liking the blue stuff, that is not my shtick at all. They're gonna hate me. Sometimes I'm proven wrong, and sort of the difference in my comedy palette has been appreciated. So yeah, it's just, I think that's the benefit of, like, when you are performing, of getting to a show on time, so you can sort of get kind of a feeling of where the room is, and maybe change your set list on the fly, which I've done.
Do you have any rituals or superstitions before you go on live?
Um, gosh, what do I do? I tend to, I guess ritual wise, not so much superstitions, but ritual wise, I listen to very calming music before going on stage. I know the inclination might be to, like, listen to music to really, like, pump you up. But for me, it's to find my breath and just to sort of find my center. So there's a song by John Baptiste called "Don't Stop," which is this beautiful melodic piano tune, which I tend to listen to just to center myself, And I will handwrite my set list and keep it, like, in a pocket or maybe in my shoe if I have no pockets. But I will keep it on me. Just I've got this weird thing of, like, I'll look at it, I'll just kind of hold it for a second, and I'll just keep it on my person. I guess that's a bit of a superstition thing I have. I just have to have my set list somewhere on me. And I think that's about it, really. And no booze before a show. That's one thing I'm pretty strict on, because I tend to get really, like, dry mouth on stage, and I find, like, liquor will just sort of help with my mouth getting drier, which doesn't make for good joke telling when your lips are stuck at the top of your teeth. So yeah, that would be my thing. Yeah.
And as for outfits, is it something easy for you to do, or do you have to think a few days ahead of time what you want to wear for that club?
I certainly have a look for when I am performing, because my humor goes along with this sense of having a very crafty substitute teacher arty vibe. I look like someone who really enjoys crocheting, which could not be further from the truth. It will send me into a rage. But I do know that I've got this sort of DIY look to me. So no matter what club I'm performing in, I look like I have made my outfit. So that's my style of dress. Yeah.
Callie, how much would you say you've improved as a stand-up comedian over the years?
Oh, heavens. Am I the right person to ask that question? I'd hope to hell I've improved. I've been doing this now for a little over 9 years.
Congrats.
Thank you. Um, I would think there's a couple of things that I've noticed a big improvement on. And this is just like a technique thing. But one thing about telling jokes online during the pandemic and dealing with the technical glitches, it got me to slow down my speech because I had to deal with, like, an audio delay or my internet connection being unstable. And it just got me to slow the heck down, which I needed to do because when I go back and I listen to earlier audio sets of when, I started out, I do make myself laugh sometimes. I do laugh at my own jokes on occasion, but I was really chewing my words up. And I was thinking I was delivering clearly, but then when I was listening back, I'm like, that's why that joke didn't land. I ate the punchline because my nerves were, getting the best of me. And I think I've just improved, as you do when you keep doing this, in finding my voice and my style of telling a joke. And when I do dabble in something political, maybe I wrap it around, my relationship. Like, lots going on between the US and Canada right now. I'm a Canadian that's dating an American. So that's a way for me to talk about politics by, interweaving it with my relationship. So yeah, just getting a better sense of self, which I just think comes from, doing the work, Yeah,
Hey, Kelly, are you still good for a little more time and a few more questions?
absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
And I wanted to play the little video here from your
Yeah,
YouTube channel. I've
sure.
already subscribed, and where people can subscribe to your YouTube channel.
Yeah, so it's my name, Kelly Zemnickis. And please do subscribe. There's stand-up, there's baking shows, there's all kinds of good stuff on there. So
And I've already subscribed, and this is from your North Carolina Comedy Festival set in 2022, and I thought it was
yeah,
great.
thank you. I miss
Just,
that outfit. I don't have that tunic anymore.
I can't believe that's 3 years ago. It's like, where's
I
time
know,
gone?
right?
The older you get, I find somebody's got a remote control and they're hitting the fast forward button.
I know. And for me, it's because I can see my arms. I'm like, I don't have all the tattoos I have now. So,
Gonna ask you about that after, but let me know if
sure,
you can hear the audio as well. I'm the
sure.
audio guy too. One
Sounds
second.
good. Okay.
Hello, everybody. Hello. I'm coming to you from Canada, Toronto, Canada. Yeah, it's my first time here, and I was at a store today, and I told the cashier I was from Toronto. He said, "Oh, I met someone yesterday from Toronto." Said her name, and I knew her. So I'm just perpetuating that stereotype that all Canadians know each other. It's great. It's great. We're talking about vibes earlier tonight. I've definitely got a vibe of a woman whose Etsy store is not doing so good. What can I say? I look like I am doing some watercolor work between comics. I've got some nice caricatures of everyone tonight. It's fine, guys. It is fine. I consider myself to be a good daughter. I see my mom and dad every single day. Pretty nice. Yeah. I live with them. So it'd be rude if I didn't. That would be very, very rude. It's fun. I live with 2 senior citizens and a puppy. So it's action-packed in my house every day, guys. Super fun. Lots of exciting shit is happening. Yesterday, my mom hurt herself doing a puzzle. What? Oh, God. You got to be puzzling hard to pull a muscle. Doing a puzzle. And my dad was just rubbing her shoulders like, "You got this, champ. You got this." So we've signed her up for American Ninja Warrior for next season. I think she's got a shot. I do. She's gonna be good. She's gonna be good. Despite the fact that I may have an appearance of a woman who's got her shit together, I promise you, friends, inside I am combusting. I am not doing good. I'm fritzy like a phone you drop in water. I'm glitchy. I'm a hormonal roller coaster because I'm a woman in her mid-40s. I'm fun. I'm always bloated. I'm broke. I'm asking anybody who will listen, do you find it warm in here? I'm always doing temperature checks of the room. God, that's when you know you're old. The moment that question leaves your lips for the first time, the change she hath begun. You're like, oh man, downhill from here. It's great. It's great. Yeah. No, I'm glitchy like a phone you drop in water for sure. So, I think tonight when I go to bed, I'm just gonna snuggle up in a bag of rice. Should be good in what, like 48 hours? I think that should be okay. I'm a gal who does not drink. I don't drink, but I do drugs. Woo! Oh yeah, I won you back. There you go. She's cool again. She is cool again. Yeah, I start every day with just the hardest shit possible. Just give her 10 a.m. I start going with a very hard to digest iron supplement. Give it up if you too are anemic. Anyway, got a couple. Yeah. I'm assuming everyone else in the room here is also anemic. You all, though, were just a little too tired to raise that roof. Which is cool. I get it. I get it. It's a bitch. I hate it. I have a lot of snacks in my purse, which I think is why people think I'm a mom. But they're all for me. Fuck the children. I need them. Sorry. Anyhow, friends, I will end off on this. I'm in a relationship, a long distance relationship. Yeah. And I got to say, the best part about long distance dating is when I'm crossing the border back into Canada and they say, ma'am, do you have anything to declare? I can just shout out, I've had sex. Let's go back into Canada, high-fiving Canadian customs. Guys, it's awesome. Try it sometime, friends. I've been Kelly Zemnickis. Thank you so much. Good night.
Thank you so much for letting me share this clip with my audience.
Oh, my pleasure. That was from the North Carolina Comedy Festival club in Greensboro called the Idiot Box, which I highly recommend folks go check out if they're in the area. It's a great comedy club. Yeah.
Kelly, since I've got you on for a few more minutes, if you're okay with that, can you just tell us about where you get some of your inspirations for the writing aspect of it? And for those people that are looking to get into comedy, do you think they should learn the writing aspect of it before going live on stage?
I am someone who has done everything sort of ass backwards, so to speak. So I never took a class before getting on stage. But now that I've been doing this for a few years, I certainly know the benefit of taking classes, and I've gone back to take classes since I started. I think sort of whatever the mood strikes, if you've got enough chutzpah and enough confidence to go up there at a mic and try it for 5 minutes, go try it. But there is an incredible benefit in taking classes and learning from others and reading and watching. So yeah, however you approach it, definitely add that to your catalog. And for me, in terms of writing, I am not somebody who says like, okay, Sunday from 2 to 4, I'm going to be at the coffee shop writing. I do not write like that. I get a lot of my ideas in the bathroom. Not when I'm on the toilet, but like if I'm in the shower or brushing my hair, I find like the bathroom is my me time and where I drown everything out. And I think I listen to myself a lot better. And I'll hear myself tell a joke and then I'll go to my phone and like make a note, write it down. That most of my comedy comes from like showers.
Good to know.
But honestly, like I think, as an adult who has moved back in with her folks and is a bit of primary caregiver, that is my quiet time and that is my me time and my thinking space. And I'm as I've gotten older, I've gotten quite good at sort of listening to that inner voice that's telling me to do things. And when it's telling me a joke, I make a note of it. And just being a good observer of everything around me, and interaction on the subway, something someone says, like,
or the GO train. When I go on the GO train,
exactly. Like I'm generally a pretty quiet person at a party, but us quiet people are the ones you have to be careful of because we're making the notes.
What are your thoughts on improv?
I love improv. Improv is how this whole adventure in comedy started, because that club, Big City Improv, was an improv club. They did do stand-up a couple of times during the week, but improv I have a deep love for. I know when you're in one camp of comedy, the other camp of comedy will shit on one and the other. But improv is an incredible tool for honing your listening skills. And whether you end up taking an improv class just to benefit your 9 to 5 office job, or you're trying to pursue it as a career, it's an incredible skill set that I honestly think could benefit anybody. It's hard to do that well, and I was not particularly good at doing improv myself, but what I was good at was running the tech end of it and knowing when to add in the lights and sound, knowing when to cut a scene, which I think has helped as a filmmaker, which I also do. So yeah, I'm full love for improv. I don't hate on it at all. It's great.
Being in 2025, I know I grew up in the 70s with Laurel and Hardy and Abbott Costello. Is there still a market for slapstick comedy?
I would think so. I'm not on TikTok, but I see a lot of stuff on like YouTube Shorts and Instagram Shorts, and I think there's like a resurgent in sketch and character. So I think you could incorporate that sort of goofy slapstickness, maybe not exactly as we did back then, because I think that there were some things back in the 70s and the 80s that now is not kosher. But it was perfectly acceptable back in the day. Benny Hill would be a harder sell now. But I think there are elements of it that people are playing with a lot of, just because there's, 70,000 ways of making content these days. So, yeah.
Do you see a long-term future for Saturday Night Live, which just celebrated its 50th year?
I hope so. I really, really hope so, but I don't know for sure. And I have that same hope for, late night talk shows, just because I grew up with the end of my day, ending it with Dave, ending it with, Seth
Jay
Meyers,
Leno.
Jay Leno, Chelsea Handler, Lily Singh. Like, I love having a bit of levity at the end of my day because everything is just a lot. Realistically, do I see that continuing? I don't know. I mean, I'm a lone wolf in that I still have cable, and I'm very old school. So I watch things on TV, and I'll record something to watch it later. I don't binge watch things just because it's just not in my DNA to watch a show like that. So I'm very old in some ways. But I'm a ride or die SNL fan. I watch every week, and I've got friends who have worked on the show as writers, and I've been to tapings, and that's just a well-oiled machine that, yeah, my hope is that it keeps going, does another 50, but I don't know. I'm sad things are changing. I've hit that point in my life where I'm like, I miss this, but it's just the way it goes. Things change.
Kelly, before we wrap this show up, I had to ask you this. How did you come up with your own podcast, talk show, Holler and Wine, and how did you come up with the name?
So I have been, the first podcast I started doing was, we still do it. It's called Order Up. It's myself along with Carrie Haim and Mary Kennedy and Matt Ardill. And it's a food
met
podcast.
Matt.
Yeah, Matt's great. Oh my God,
Yes.
Everyone's great. And so it's a food podcast. It's silly. It's like 30 minutes. We ask food questions. And I just kind of got the hankering to have longer conversations with people. I'm a big fan of the Joy podcast with Craig Ferguson. And that was just inspiration to have like a friend come on and just talk about stuff and just let the conversation go where it goes. So that's sort of where like Holler and Wine grew from. The title, I was talking to my friend Simone Holder, who's a comic from Ottawa. And I said to her, I was like, oh, it'd be fun to do this like conversational podcast and call it, I don't know, bitchin'. Because like as a kid from growing up in the 80s, bitchin' was like cool, right? You know, it wasn't necessarily ranting about something. I'm with a company called Tape Deck Media. Those are the producers of Holler and Wine. And when we were going through like possible show title options, there were either too many other things called bitchin' or it just wasn't an option to pick. And I just like the idea of like a holler and wine. Wine is spelled WHINE. It just lended itself to like just talking about stuff and then infusing it with questions about cocktails, which I do during the podcast. I'll ask things like, if you could describe your past week as a cocktail, what would you pick? What would you pick, Chris, if you were ordering a drink off the menu as your week?
I'm not a big drinker. I do like the odd beer. I guess, I don't know. I used to drink rum and Coke when I was younger, but I haven't had that in like 20 years. So
that's fair. It can be non-boozy.
I'd go with wine. I would go with a wine drink. I would go with,
nice.
I would go with a red wine. Red wine.
That's classy. You've had a classy week. I like that. I would go with the Shirley Temple. It's been a fun week because I recorded my second album. So,
well, one of my sponsors is the local beer company, and they give me so much beer I can't drink it all. So if you live closer to me, I would give you some beer because I like beer, but I can't drink that much of it. So
that's fair. Yeah, with that clip you played, I hadn't been drinking for a couple of years. I stopped during the pandemic, and my father, God bless him, kept saying to me, when are you going to stop that? He was disappointed. So I have the occasional beer or wine.
Hey, Kelly, can you just tell us how often you record an episode and where can my audience find your podcast shows?
Sure. So Holler and Wine is on all the things. You can go to Apple or Spotify. It is through Tape Deck Media and Spreaker, which is, I think, a subsidiary of iHeartRadio. I think that's the right word, subsidiary. But Holler and Wine, if you go to my Instagram page, the Latvian Foodie, there is a link to click on that and find it. It's for the ears only. There's no visual element to it. So it's for the listening. And a new episode goes out every 2 weeks. So the last episode I just published was with a great comic named Ren Q, who I got to meet in Miami this year. Coming up, a former dancer, now comic, Meg Chiswick from New York is my next guest. We're going to talk about getting married and cocktails and embracing failure.
Which happens to all of us.
It happens to all of us, and it's the best way to learn, falling on your face.
Absolutely. Any plans for a future website and maybe even a book?
I am working on a website actually with my friend Amy. So that is going to be coming out in a few months. And I'm so excited to finally have a hub of places people can find things and book me and do all those things. So a website's to come. And I actually am working on a book. There is a comedian that I have loved from the moment I met her back when I was a teen starting in the business, Elvira Kurt. I was very lucky to work the door and work some shows for Elvira. And now I get to occasionally share the stage with her. And we did a show a few years back where afterwards she came up to me and she said, "Your life is so popcorny. I would read your book if you wrote it." So I'm going to be putting something together, self-publishing. But yeah, that'll come out later this year, next year. But yeah.
That's awesome.
So I love creating. I love telling stories. And, you know, the younger version of me never saw myself doing this. So it's just really cool that I get to do it. So
yeah. Same here. When I was in elementary, high school, I hated public speaking. I would be the last one to go. I've reinvented myself. The older I've gotten, I'm
Yeah.
more comfortable being on camera, being on air, and just be
Yeah.
yourself. And gotta ask you this too: banana bread. How did you
Yeah.
come about banana bread? What's so special about Kelly's banana bread?
So this is something if you if listeners book me or ask for my bio, I will change this up every so often. And I was doing a show with Arthur Simeon at Stratford. We got to do, I don't know if they're doing it this year, but last year Stratford had a series of stand-up. So it was amazing to make my Stratford debut as a comic. And in Arthur's bio, it said that Arthur likes eating banana bread. So I thought, okay, that could be one thing to add into the bio. And I really put things in there, honestly, to make sure people are reading my bio. When I was working my part-time jobs, at the bottom of my resume, I would put things like freshly baked muffins available upon request, just to see if people actually read to the end of my resume. So, there are little Easter eggs I put in to see if you actually read my bio.
Because I read all my guest bios. Because I always like to find out fun facts about my guests as well.
And banana bread's also just so good, dude. It's so good.
My mom makes a mean banana bread.
Yeah. I love baking. I love cooking. And yeah, banana bread's just, it smells good in the house.
Butter or no butter on it?
Oh, if it's fresh out of the oven, no. But if it's like a day later and I need to warm it up, I'll put a little knob of butter.
Now I have a craving for banana bread.
I'll make you some if you give me beer.
Okay, deal. Beer for muffins. Your dad will be happy too. It's a win-win for everybody. Hey, Kelly, as we wrap this up, what's one fun fact about Kelly, about yourself?
Oh, I am ambidextrous. I am both left and right-handed.
Yeah. I'm a lefty.
Oh, yeah, both.
I could be a righty too, but I like lefty.
Nice. I when I was a kid, I have this memory in grade school of the teachers taking the pen out of my left hand and putting it in my right hand and encouraging me to use my right hand. But yeah, I've still retained it. So yeah, it's a nice little, and it confuses people when they see me writing with two hands.
Wow. Teachers tried that with me when I was in school in the 70s and 80s, and then I ended up breaking my right arm. So I broke my arm.
What I should have done.
So, yeah, I don't recommend it. I did it playing baseball, and I had it in the cast for 9.5 months. 9.5 months. Yeah. Well, they didn't have the technology like they do now, so so I don't recommend breaking your leg or breaking your arm or breaking your arm. Breaking your leg or breaking your arm.
I'll try not to, but at this stage of my life, I will hurt myself just like putting on my pants. Yeah. So
anyways, I'm definitely gonna have to have you come back on for part 2.
Sure.
In the future, if you're interested.
This is fun. Absolutely.
I want to say, Kelly, before we wrap this up, where can my audience follow you on social media?
Yeah, so Facebook, YouTube, I think Blue Sky is all my name, Kelly Zemnickis. Instagram is a little different. That is the Latvian foodie. You're probably wondering, why doesn't she change it? But I'm not now. I'm not going to. Because my Instagram page is really kind of a scrapbook of all the things I do in my life: food, comedy, writing, family. So yeah, the Latvian foodie Instagram, Kelly Zemnickis, on all of the other things. And
you have a show tomorrow night, right?
I do. If anyone watching is in the Toronto area at the Imperial Pub, it's at Yonge and Dundas. It is a fully accessible bar and a great space to do shows with Desiree Walsh, my great friend, fellow comic. We are presenting the Pyramid Scheme, where we're going to talk about, make you laugh about things that are confusing us, things we're questioning, things we're suspicious of, and a really great lineup. So yeah, 8 p.m., $15. And as I say, it is a fully accessible space, which there are far too few of.
Well, Kelly, I want to say thank you so much for coming on. I
Oh, my pleasure.
apologize for keeping you over 45 minutes. So I
Don't
hope I
worry
didn't
about
make you
it.
feel late.
Don't worry about it. Gonna go make
Okay.
dinner and get Dad a beer.
What are you making for dinner? What are you making for dinner?
I don't know yet. I get a lot of stuff through slight plug Too Good to Go, which is a really great food app that prevents food waste. So you pick a restaurant or a grocery store and you go pick up your mystery bag, and then they don't throw that food out, and then you get to cook with it. So I have no idea what I'm getting, Chris. But I'm off to Italy. So
Okay.
we'll see.
Well, I'm going to let you go because I
Amazing.
know how important dinner is. But hey, Kelly,
Yes.
I want to say thank you so much for coming
This
on
is
here.
great. Thank you.
Continued success as a comedian, podcaster, and as a documentary filmmaker. And maybe the next time, if you do come on again,
Yeah, I'd love
hopefully
to.
you will. We'll
Yeah, I'd
talk a
love
little
to.
more about your filmmaking, the part of it as well.
That sounds good. Thank you so
And
much for having me.
And hopefully you'll get up to Guelph one day for a comedy show.
I'd love to. I would love
Okay.
to. We'll make that happen.
And I will say hi to Paula Jane Newman for you.
Please do. I'll say hi to
Okay.
Mary for you.
Absolutely. And I did another interview with Mary, but I'm going to let you go, Kelly. But thank you so much for coming on here today, and give me a little bit of time today, and I'll send you the video, the audio, and a couple reels and clips as well. And you should get on TikTok. The old guy got on TikTok, and it's been a really good tool.
We'll see. I mean, I still own a VHS machine, Chris.
I
so.
still have a CD player. A CD player.
I do too. I do too. We'll see.
And a DVD player.
Baby steps.
So I can relate. All right. Well, Kelly, it's been a pleasure having you on my show, and continued success, and enjoy your dinner. And we'll be back in Toronto soon. I'll be back in Toronto for the Argonauts.
Amazing. Nice.
Yes, I do some media work for them. So, all right.
Okay.
Talk to you later. Thank you so much, Kelly.
Thanks, dude. Bye.
Thanks. All right, guys, that concludes season 10, episode 46, overall 541 of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership here in Guelph. I want to say thank you to my guest today, Kelly Zemnickis, a stand-up comedian, podcast talk show host, and a documentary filmmaker out of Toronto, for coming on here today. And guys, you can check out her Linktree page, and she's also on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook as well. I have her links right there. I would read them to you, but my eyesight is not as good as it used to be, even with these glasses on as well. Before I wrap up this show, guys, the next Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, again, sponsored by BarryCullen.com. I've got 2 shows on Tuesday, May 27th at 3:30 p.m. Eastern with Jennifer Alvarado. She is a country artist out of Hickory, North Carolina. And at 4:30 Eastern, I have Keith McPherson on, a radio personality from WFAN Sports Radio 66 in New York, to talk New York Yankees baseball with us. So Jennifer Alvarado and Keith McPherson will be my guests this Tuesday, May 27th, 3:30 and at 4:30 as well. Check out a 2025 Trax 1RS, lease from $158 biweekly. That's like $79 weekly at 5.9% for 24 months with only $2,800 down payment on an ultra low kilometer lease. More details at BarryCullen.com or visit Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership is the official sponsor of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. As we wrap up the show, guys, I am on Cameo. If you'd like a personalized video message, birthday wishes, pep talk, greetings, want to talk sports with me or about my talk show and my media work, my career change, go to cameo.com and type in Chris Palme and book your Cameo today. You can also follow me now on Blue Sky Social at Live with CDP 19. If you're looking to adopt a pet, guys, check out the Cambridge Industrial Humane Society at 1650 Dunbar Road in Cambridge, Ontario. Telephone number 519-623-7722, extension 0, or visit their website, cambridgehumanesociety.org. All the animals that are up for adoption there, their profiles are on cambridgehumanesociety.org. And if you're looking to volunteer there as a dog walker like I do, please go to the cambridgehumanesociety.org website. Go on to the volunteer application form and fill it out there as well. And right now, the Cambridge Humane Society is looking for dog treats, cat treats, any kind of dog food, puppy food, and they're also looking for bedding and garbage bags. So if you're able to donate some garbage bags or cat litter, anything you can donate, that would be greatly appreciated. They do a lot of good work at the Cambridge District Humane Society, again, located at 1650 Dunbar Road in Cambridge, just right across from the Cambridge Center Mall. As we wrap up this show, guys, Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, again, is live streamed on these platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, X, Twitch, LinkedIn, and now available on Instagram. Fingers crossed one day StreamYard will partner up with TikTok as well. You guys can check out my website at beacons.ai/Chris D. Palme. Again, Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show is brought to you by Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. If you own a business and you're looking to advertise on a live stream talk show platform like myself, check out Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, CDP Media Productions, and reach out to me at cpalme19@gmail.com. My prices are very reasonable compared to traditional radio. I have listeners in 45 countries around the world, and on my YouTube channel, I have over 618 subscribers and over 410,000 views in counting. So if you're looking to advertise, consider Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by Barry Cullen Chevrolet and run and operated by CDP Media Productions, which is myself. So looking forward to hearing from you, and would love to be able to advertise your business here on Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. I am also a content creator, a full-time content creator on TikTok. You can follow me on my new page at Chris Palme. Let's get Chris up to 1,000 on TikTok, and I will post more content on there every day as well. StreamYard is the official live stream provider of Live with CDP Sports Talk. If you're into webinars or podcasting, check out StreamYard.com. They have basic free plans. They have paid professional plans, which I have. And if you're a business that does a lot of webinars or live streaming, go to StreamYard.com and contact their sales department for pricing as well. And yours truly has been with StreamYard now for over 4 years, thanks to the Philly sports guy, Jamie Pagley, for referring me to StreamYard. Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, the audio version is on these platforms: iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify for podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Spotify, Castbox, LinkedIn, Pandora, Tuned In, YouTube Music, and Good Pods. And make sure you follow and subscribe as well. Finally, guys, you can email me at Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show at cpalme19@gmail.com. Any comments, questions, suggestions, feedback would be greatly appreciated. And if you like this show and like my media work and you'd like to support it, I am on PayPal. You can reach me on PayPal. Tip the host on PayPal at cpalme19@gmail.com. Any tips would be greatly appreciated and will help continue this talk show and my media work as well. And before we wrap up this show, guys, I got some sports news for you today. And Major League Baseball, the Detroit Tigers broke their 3-game losing streak against Cleveland Guardians. The Tigers won 5-0 today at Comerica Park. Tarek Skudrow pitched his first ever complete game in Major League Baseball, shutting out the Cleveland Guardians on 2 hits and 13 strikeouts. So the Tigers now improved to, I believe they're now 34-21, and they salvaged 1 out of 4 games against a very good Cleveland Guardians team. NHL Stanley Cup playoffs underway right now. This afternoon, they should be probably at the end of the second period. You have the West Final going on, Game 3. It started at 3 o'clock today at Rogers Place in Edmonton. Dallas at the Oilers series is tied at 1-1 in Game 3, and that game right now should be probably starting the third period very soon, and that's a huge game for the Oilers being at home for the next two games, and I think that series is going to go the full 7 games. I really think Edmonton Dallas will go 7 games. And we got NBA playoffs tonight, the East Finals, Game 3. This is a must win for the New York Knicks. I know the Knicks are 5-1 on the road in the playoffs, but they are down 0-2 to the Indiana Pacers, who outplayed them both games in New York. And Indiana is very good at home as well. So for the Knicks, they're going to have to win tonight because no NBA team has ever come back from 0-3. And even if the Knicks win tonight, they still got to win Game 4 in Indiana because you don't want to go back to New York down 3-1. So the best thing for the Knicks is they're going to just have to try to win Game 3 tonight and try to win Game 4. But Indiana is a very good ball club, and I really think it's going to be an Oklahoma Thunder, Indiana Pacers NBA Finals. But we'll see. That tip off tonight then for New York and New York and the Pacers from Indiana will be at 8 o'clock as well. And again, congratulations to the Buffalo Bandits for being the first National Lacrosse League team since the 2012-13-14 Rochester Nighthawks and the Los Angeles Lakers, who three-peated from 2000 to 2002 with a big 15-6 win over Saskatchewan last night in Game 3 to win their 7th ever National Lacrosse League title, one more than the Toronto Rock and Philadelphia Wings, who have 6. And head coach John Tavares has been a part of all 7 championships, 4 as a Hall of Fame player, and now 3 in a row as a head coach. So congratulations to the Buffalo Bandits, Scott Lawfer, John Tavares, Steve Dittrich, the broadcasting guys like John Gerkler, Steve Bermo, Dave Buchanan, Ellie Brady, the in-game arena host, and Chris Swanson. And Chris Swanson and John Tavares are the only 2 members of the Bandits organization, I believe, has been around for all 7 championships. So congratulations to the Buffalo Bandits and to MVP of the finals in McKay, who scored 16 goals in the playoff series. The entire playoff series. So the Buffalo Bandits, congratulations again on three-peating. They are what you can consider a dynasty. 5 straight trips to the NL Finals, 3 straight championships. They're a dynasty, tremendous organization, and I'm hoping next year to do some more media coverage for the Buffalo Bandits as well. And that wraps up our show for today, guys. I want to say thank you to my special guest, Callie Zemnickis, a stand-up comedian, a documentary filmmaker, and the host of her own podcast show called Holler and Wine, for coming on here today. And I want to say thank you to Paula Jane Newman, who's been a guest of mine and a friend of mine, for arranging this show as well. And it wraps it up for today, guys. So again, next Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, I've got not one, but I got 2 shows coming up. Tuesday, May 27th, 3:30 with country artist Jennifer Alvarado, who's from Hickory, North Carolina. And at 4:30, I have Keith McPherson, radio personality and host with WFAN 66 Sports Radio in New York, to talk New York Yankees baseball with us as well. I hope everybody enjoys the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you back here on Tuesday, 3:30 with Jennifer Alvarado, a country artist. Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks again for watching and listening to Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by Barry Cullen Chevrolet here in Guelph.